Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and today we have on the Floating Bridge Pond Association, a brand new nonprofit in Ward 2. Thanks for coming on today.
Thank you so much, Danny, for having us. My name is Obed Matul. I am the Ward 2 City Councilor and serving as the current president of the Floating Bridge Pond Association.
And then
I am Shilo McDonald, and I am a resident of Ward 2 and a member of the Floating Bridge Pond Association.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to hop right into this. This is a fairly new organization, but you've had several events, several ways of really drawing people's attention to the pond because it's prominent, it's there, but people might not really notice it when they're driving back and forth. So, Obed, would you be able to talk a little bit about your motivations wanting to start this organization?
Yeah, so one of the things that I wanted to focus as a counselor when I got sworn into office was making sure that we took care of the pond, making sure, it's like you said, it's a prominent place. People drive by it every single day, and a lot of times they don't even realize what they're driving through. There's so much life to it, there's so much history to it. So we wanted to make sure that we maintain it, we kept up with it. There's a lot of wildlife, there's a lot of fauna that we want to make sure that we maintain. One of the things that we have been doing is bringing awareness to the pond itself, to the bridge. You know, it's named after a U.S. veteran. So we wanted to make sure that people were aware of what's happening. We have been trying to beautify the entrance coming into Lynn with the flags, with the flowers. And so we decided to form the Floating Bridge Pond Association because as a team we can work together. We brought very special people like Shilo helping us bring a lot of information, a lot of awareness about the wildlife, about the fauna, and we have gotten a lot of really good response from the community helping us to maintain it.
You have so far. I mean, I remember last weekend I went to Springfest, which was a big event, obviously very popular. And Shell, I will ask you, I was amazed by the pictures behind you of how many variations of birds there are, especially in the middle of a city. So would you be able to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I've documented 98 species of birds at the pond, which is a lot. That's a lot of different birds. Birds that are migrating will stop there to take a rest. And sometimes to just take a bite to eat, you know, try to catch their breath as they move further north for nesting. And then some birds nest there, like the Baltimore Oriole. This is a gorgeous bird, bright orange. I never thought, I mean, I grew up in Lynn and Salem, and I never thought we had Baltimore Orioles. I actually found them at the pond.
Wow.
And I realized they're nesting here. They've decided to, despite their name, they're Red Sox fans. So, yeah, these are some of the other birds too. We have all kinds, including an osprey who stops by once in a while and grabs a bite to eat. Ospreys are fish eaters almost exclusively, and they were nearly dead or extinct until the 70s. We almost wiped them out with DDT. That got banned, and their population has returned. So now you can go to Lynn Harbor and you can see their nests out on the buoys right in Lynn Harbor. I found them at Forest River Park in Salem, found their nest. It's great to see a bird that we didn't see when we were young. Now it's almost an everyday occurrence when it's nesting time.
Yeah, when it's time to do that.
That's right.
I mean, even when I was there over the weekend, someone said, oh yeah, there's a swan here, a swan nest. I'm like, there's a swan in Lynn. And of course I went and saw it. But that was just so awesome. And this ties into, too, another initiative was trying to remove some of the trash around the pond, some of the things that could harm the animals, could harm the people. Right. You've done a few pretty large, extensive cleanups there.
Yeah, Obed has organized.
Yeah, unfortunately, the little retaining wall around Victory Road, unfortunately, that serves as a hiding spot for a lot of trash. A lot of people dump things there. We have found bike frames, car tires, baby car seats, things like that. It's bad. But we have been working with the Floating Bridge Pond Association to make sure that we remove a lot of that. And the last cleanup that we did, actually, there was a lot of trash still, but it wasn't as bad as last year. Last year we had a big cleanup back in October.
Yeah.
We removed 3 truckloads of trash, just trash. And on top of that, we had a couple of landscaping companies who helped us remove a lot of the invasive weeds, We didn't remove any trees because it's conservation land.
Yeah.
But we did remove a lot of the invasive weeds and a lot of branches on the ground. So we're trying to do our best to maintain it.
And Shiloh, you even said on the way over here, there was a weed that you grabbed
Yeah.
that's around the pond, but it's one that's not, it's not supposed to be here. It's
Thank
not
you.
good.
I'll show my prop. Just outside, I pulled this up. This is called black swallowwort. And black swallowwort is an invasive species that is toxic to our native environment. So there's nothing here that will eat it. You'll notice that all the leaves are green and bright. There's no holes. There's no bugs that would eat that lives here. So the plant grows unchecked and proliferates unchecked. Unfortunately, there's a butterfly, the monarch butterfly, will lay its eggs on this plant. The eggs will hatch. They begin to eat the leaf, thinking it's safe, and they all die. Mm-hmm. It's 100% fatal to the monarch butterfly, and the monarch butterfly is an endangered species. This is not the time for us to be having these around. It's very dangerous. So I appreciate you letting me talk about it. I've seen it around the pond. I've seen it at my house. I've just seen it outside. I'm asking everyone to pull it up if they see it. You want to grab it by the roots if you can. That way it won't grow back.
Mm-hmm. And you even got to discuss that a little bit at Spring Fest.
Yep.
That was an event that you literally just did this past weekend, where you were able to tie together the wildlife, the history. You seem to really collect all the pieces for it. Would you be able?
We did. One of the things that we did with the Spring Fest, what we wanted to bring, not just awareness, have fun with the families, but at the same time make it an educational event.
Yeah.
We had Shiloh present about the wildlife, the animal, the invasive species, and we also had the Lynn Veterans Council talk about the history of the bridge. The Buchanan Bridge is named after, it was named after Corporal Matthew L. Buchanan, mm-hmm. who served in World War I, and he passed. He was actually killed in active duty in 1922, so the bridge was named after him.
Like you said, both those aspects are incredibly important, the wildlife of it, the history of it, to make people aware of all of it, really, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. So the main mission of the association is that educate people. At the same time, it's a gem, and I think Shiloh can attest to that. There's so much wildlife, there's so much life to it. Not just the birds. There's turtles there.
Yeah.
There's a big snapping turtle somewhere. We've seen it a couple times, and a couple people have talked to us about it. There's a huge snapping turtle somewhere in the pond who just wanders around. We have the swans. We have a lot of history. It's a gem that we want to make sure that we maintain. It's coming into Lynn. It's the first thing you see. We want to make it, beautify it, so that people coming into Lynn can have a different vision of Lynn. They feel welcome. We have the flags. We have the pond. It's just a gem coming into Lynn.
It is. It's an absolutely gorgeous place to see, absolutely great thing to see. And I mean, you're showing all of the pictures, all of the different birds that you can even see just wandering around.
That's a northern pintail. This is a male northern pintail. This right here, and he's gorgeous. He's in full breeding plumage, and I found him in the pond. It's not a bird we normally get to see. It's another one who is migrating. He stopped off. This is to his left, or whatever, to the right.
that direction, that way.
Whatever direction.
Next to it.
That's a ring-necked duck, and he's another gorgeous little. He's just. I could not believe when I saw these things, because they just seem so foreign to me, and yet I've lived in Ward 2 for 20 years. A long time, And when I first moved in, I didn't expect to see this diversity of wildlife. I'm very happy living where I am and being able to see the birds and the wildlife that I see all the time, including not just birds, but stoat, coyote, fox, raccoon, skunk. A lot of fun stuff, groundhog. A lot of fun things that you would expect in a more rural place like maybe North Beverly or Ipswich or Newbury. But we get it right here. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you can get it literally right for you two, literally right in your backyard,
Yeah.
but for anyone in the city, you get to see it, you get to experience it, and now you have the organization to highlight it. And I know I have to wrap up in a moment, but was there anything else I hadn't mentioned that either of you wanted to?
I'm good. I'm just excited about what I get to see. But not just what I get to see. You guys get to see it too. These are cedar waxwings. My God, I can't believe it. That's a common yellowthroat, hiding a little bit, but you can see the yellow on his throat. He's got a black mask. This is a ruby-crowned kinglet, and in that picture you get to see a little bit of the crown. It pops up like a mohawk when he wants to, once in a while. It's just crazy.
And like you said, birds don't complain when you take their picture. It doesn't have to be perfect.
That's right. It doesn't have to be perfect.
I think overall what we're trying to do, and I want to thank Shilo too for helping us bring awareness. You know, a lot of people drive by, like I said, they probably don't see this every day because they just drive by and they don't really pay attention to it. But there's so much life in general, not just the wildlife. There's just so much life to the pond itself. And I think over time we want people to start appreciating the pond, appreciating the bridge, appreciating the history, the wildlife. I remember when I was in 10th grade in high school, my biology teacher taking us to the pond and just doing what you were doing, you know, looking at the wildlife and just talking about it and studying it. And I think it's something that people have lost, for lack of a better word. They just don't pay attention to it. And in general, when that happens, people tend to forget. You know, they drive by, they throw their trash. One of the things that the previous counselors have been doing is making sure that it stays clean. Councilor Trahant, a couple of years ago, he made the plaza put a chain link fence around the plaza just because there was so much trash going onto the pond.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to bring back. You know, and I know Shilo appreciates this because of the wildlife.
Of course.
You know, every time there's trash going into the pond, it's affecting these little guys. You know, it's affecting us as well. But we're messing up with the ecosystem. We're messing up with even with the plants. You know,
Yeah, of course.
Whether it's an invasive or a native plant, you know, we're still messing up with the ecosystem. So we want to make sure that we keep it clean. We want to make sure that we maintain it, because by keeping it clean, not only are we making our city look more beautiful, but at the same time, we're letting the ecosystem flourish.
Yeah, you definitely are. And I said, I can see the enthusiasm from both of you. I've definitely learned a ton in this interview and even since this organization was founded. So I thank you again so much for early educating me and then all of our audience.
Thank you.
Fun fact, did you know that Victory Road was built around the pond? Because back in the day, the circus was a big thing here in Lynn. So the elephants would not cross the bridge because it was a floating bridge. So they had to build Victory Road around the pond so that the elephants would go around the pond because they wouldn't go through the bridge.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of history in the bridge. Fun fact.
There you go. There's your fun fact of the day. It's news for me and definitely news for you. Once again, I'm Danny Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests.